hold your Bible all throughout. The theme of the Word of God today is God who reverses the irreversible. Yes. Did you hear that? Yes. God who reverses the irreversible. God that can do and undo. Yes. God that makes impossibilities possible always. And I need you to listen to this true story. After 16 and a half long years on death row, Billy Moore's execution date was set for May 24th, 1984. I want you to have that theme of the Word of God at the back of your mind as you listen to this story. Amen. God who reverses the irreversible. Amen. And this date was set for his execution, meaning that there's no more appeals, no more court appeals, no more court dates, no more postponements. It is set for May 24, 1984. Then a few weeks before his execution, Billy Moore said, there's one thing that he felt the Lord laid in his heart. And that was for him to write a letter of apology to all his victims' family. Are you following the story? Yes. And he said to himself, how do you write a letter of apology to people that you killed their father, you killed their brother, and to those who killed their uncle? How do you write such apology? And he said to himself, since he's compelled to write it, he's going to write it. And the letter was simple. And he wrote, if you could find it in your heart to forgive me, I will truly appreciate it. But if you don't, I will understand, because I cannot forgive myself either. Did you hear that? Yes. If you don't forgive me, I will understand. Because if I were you, meaning that if he was in their shoes, he wouldn't do it either. And he sent the letter. And surprisingly, they all replied him. Each one of them replied him, and they said they forgive him. And they told him that they are forgiving him because they are Christians. And they are taught in the Word of God to forgive. And that's why they have found it in their heart to forgive him. And he was so surprised. And he quickly wrote back and thanked them for their forgiveness. And do you know, before long, they were exchanging letters. Amen? Amen. It is somebody who has killed somebody's father, killed somebody's brother, and killed another person's uncle. Amen? Amen. And all these people forgave him, and all of them started writing him every week. They were exchanging letters every week. Don't forget the Word of God. God who reverses the irreversible. And the day finally arrives when Billy was taken to death wash cell. They call something death wash cell in the prison for people who are going to be executed. And they are taken to that death wash cell. 72 before their execution. And while he was there, he was taken there. Before he was taken to that cell, he was taken to the captain's office. And the captain handed him the execution warrant. And he said, you have to read it because this makes it absolute that we are going to execute you. And when he has read, he has to read it, not only read, he has to sign it. Sign it as well. Amen? Amen. And after that, the captain looked at him and said, what do you want done to your body after we have killed you? Do you want us in the prison to bury you? Or are you going to arrange for your family to come and pick up your body? And Billy Moore said, he thought as if you are arranging a funeral for another person. But not at all. You are arranging your own funeral. So he didn't answer the captain. He never said a word. Because all the time that he had been in the prison, he had met God. And he was so strongly in relationship with God. He holds his Bible everywhere. He reads his Psalms every second, every minute. And he has a manual of people that have been executed before. And he read in that manual that some, their eyes popped out of the socket, some, their flesh burnt. And he was thinking and asking God, God, is all this going to happen to me? Is my eyes going to pop out? My flesh burnt? What is really going to happen to me? Or am I going to die straight away? And just as he was pondering with all this in his head, as if he wasn't in enough trouble, a letter came for him. Are we all listening to this? A letter came from his ex-wife. And in the letter, the ex-wife told him that Billy Jr., that was his son. His name is Billy. And Billy Jr. And the wife said, I'm just letting you know, since you are going to die, that Billy Jr. is actually not your son. Are you listening to me? What could be more worse? So he said that after reading that, he felt as if his stomach was punched by Mike Tyson. He felt that he was punched by Mike Tyson. And as he was struggling to think and thinking he was going to have a heart attack, he had the Lord spoke to him audibly. He had it loud and clear. And the word said, you shall not die, but live and declare the word of the Lord. Amen. Shout hallelujah! Hallelujah! You shall not die, but live and declare the words of the Lord. And Satan, you know when the Lord talks to you, Satan always coming as well. And Satan was asking him, do you truly think you are not going to die? You shall not die. You kill so, you kill so, you kill so. You think you are not going to die? And at that point, Billy Moore stood on his feet and he started to walk backwards and forward towards cell. I will not die, and he started declaring it. I will not die, but live because the Lord has said it. I will not die, but live to declare the works of the Lord. Amen. 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 And don't forget, he just had 72 hours in that cell, and he was drawing down. And the prison wardens came to take him, to prepare him for his execution. And as they were all about to shave his head, the captain came out of his office and said, "What are you doing to him?" And they said, "We are preparing him, of course, captain, for the execution. The execution is less than 8 hours." And the captain said, "No, you are not." Praise the Lord! Hallelujah. We are talking about God that reverses the irreversible. God that makes impossibility possible. Your God that says yes and nobody can say no. And when he says no, nobody can say yes. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. He said no, you are not doing such thing. You are not shaving his head. And the prison wardens were surprised. They're looking at it themselves. What are you talking about, Captain? And he said, "I just received a phone call from the Court of Appeal to stop the execution." Praise the Lord! Hallelujah. Billy Moore got a stay on his execution 7 hours 15 minutes to the time of his execution. Yeah. Praise the Lord! Hallelujah. What is it you are going through? And you think it's impossible for God to do for you? What is the challenge that is facing you? And you feel that that is the end. God cannot do anything. We are talking of God that reverses the irreversible. Our God of impossibility specialist. The God that will say yes and nobody on earth can say no. And when he says no, nobody can say yes. When he closes a door, nobody can open it. When he shuts a door, nobody can open it. That is the God we are talking about. Amen. So he got a stay of execution, 7 hours, 15 minutes to the time. Amen? Amen. What Billy Moore did not know was that not only did the victim's family, not only did they forgive him, they started to work and appeal for stay on his execution. Hallelujah. The victim's family and some community groups got together and wrote to the court that the court should stop the execution. Amen. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. And he got a stay of execution. Amen. That is God that reverses the irreversible. Amen. Our God that can do and undo. Amen. When they say it is finished for you, you are just beginning. Amen. With God. Amen. 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 It is not finished until God says it is finished. That is the God that we serve. Amen. Billy Moore had to spend another 6 years just for the necessary things to be put in place for his release. And he got released on the 8th of November 1991. This is a true story, I'm telling you. It is a true story. Amen? Amen. I'm not making it up. It is something that happened. And when he was set free, this man is now married. The man, Billy Moore, is now married. He's an ordained minister and is traveling all around the world speaking about the power of forgiveness. Praise the Lord! And he remains in contact with all his victims and Billy Jr. Amen? Amen? And in his preaching he said, Christ forgave all of us. Amen? When he died for our sins, even though he had no sin himself, he died on the cross for you and me at Calvary. Amen? Took off all our sins, even though he had no sins himself. And never forget that you serve a God who reverses the irreversible. We serve a merciful God, a God who stood by Abraham and made him father of many nations. Our God who stood by Joseph and made him the prime minister in a strange land. God who stood by Moses and drowned Pharaoh and his horsemen in the Red Sea. He created a dry land for the Israelites to cross over to their promised land. God who stood by Daniel and shut the mouth of the lions for him. He stood by David and granted him the grace to overcome Goliath. What is your problem? What is the challenges you are facing and you think it's impossible for God to conquer for you? Amen? Amen. Our God who reverses the irreversible will stand by us today. Amen. And whatever concerns us, God will give each and every one of us his divine attention. Amen. We will go forth and we will dominate. Amen. We will prosper. Amen. We will achieve. Amen. In this new month. Amen. In this new month. Amen. We will have open doors. Amen. We will have great achievements. Amen. It shall be well with us. Amen. Everything that seems irreversible for us, God will reverse it. Amen. Every impossibility should be made possible before us. God will conquer all our enemies for us. Amen. And it shall be well with us. Amen. Our coming here today will not be in vain. Amen. And so shall it be written. Amen. And so shall it be done. Amen. And now to God the Father, amen, to God the Son, amen, to God the Holy Ghost, amen, through Christ our Lord. Amen. 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 In Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Come to the next person and say, see you at the top. See you at the top. Clap for Jesus. See you at the top.